Welcome to Minami Lane. Grab yourself a yummy bowl of ramen, a delectable cup of boba, or even your favorite manga and stroll down a beautiful street that you design. On our various streets, we will gather treasure, make our townsfolk happy, pet a bountiful amount of cats, and even collect an abundant amount of trash. And I mean an abundant. As we start our journey, Emma welcomes us to Minami Lane. The street here is very sad and empty, which means to spark light in the eyes of the young adults that live here, we must inject copious amounts of sugar into their bloodstreams in the form of boba. Mission 1. Bobalicious. Because who doesn't love bubble tea? For this mission, we need to have 15 villagers move in, have 75% satisfaction, build a boba shop, and win in 12 days or less. I start with building a ramen shop so that we can start generating some income and make our residents happy. I thought about giving them 42 noodles, but I think I would never make my money back, so we stick to the basics. This seems to not satisfy my first villager, May Overwatch, as she says she wants more noodles, but I'm glad we're being picky about my family recipe. Madeline also lets me know that more pork would be appreciated, which is fair. I grab a piece of trash and a switch someone dropped and moved on. The next day, I adjusted our recipe by adding more noodles. I pass on the pork because I feel like they're too poor to afford it, but I stand corrected. Everyone wants more pork, and someone wants more noodles, so I swap it up again. We get some more villagers, sell them bowls of ramen, and increase our profits as quickly as possible by listening to everything the villagers want. I also make sure that I pick up any tanukis I see, or trash, when I process that I actually need to pick them up. I throw in a park to make everyone a little happier by making the town much more beautiful to stare at. I love that there are a bunch of customization options so that you can change the vibe of each of your streets every time you play. We finally get access to our boba shop, Poppin' Boba, and make a quick recipe to start our day. Ryota wants less tea, Satoshi wants more cream, and Mason wants more tapioca. Everyone is quite picky in this town, I see. I comply with everyone's requests though to hopefully bring in some more income, and yet Lee still thinks there isn't enough cream. Everyone thinks there isn't enough cream.
Hello.
They all want to be creamed.
Hi. Hello.
Our end of day satisfaction rating proves this, so I add another park to increase the beauty, hoping that it will make everyone a little bit more happy, and it works. Mission 1 complete. In our next street, only old people live here, and they want that to change. Our goal is to have more youth than elders, 85% satisfaction, earn $250 a day, and win with 9 buildings or less. With this street, we also unlock building upgrades, and we learn that the elders and the youths have different tastes, which means that the shops will be catered to differently per each age group. Along with that, villagers' thoughts can be saved so you can see them at your shop at the end of the day. Our pre-built lane includes an onsen, elder's mansion, and a ramen shop. Our upgrades are going to be important as we need less shops to win the optional mission. I adjusted the recipe for some reason, even though I saw that the recipe and price was already perfect at like the old days. I added some villagers to the mansion in hopes that it would bring in some more youth, but it only gives us 1. I realized my mistake of adjusting the recipe, and I adjusted to make the elders happy, and hopefully increase the youth's satisfaction as well. Adding a house to our street, we get 5 more youths and start our day. I realized that everyone isn't happy enough, so I upgrade the beauty as well the next day along with the onsen. Something I kept noticing was that I was missing out on free money by getting distracted talking to my Twitch chat. I wasn't collecting all the trash and tanukis, so I tried to lock in a little bit more with that. I adjust the recipes as well to try to balance the enjoyment between our age ranges. I cave, take the L, and make another ramen shop so that everyone can be happy. Like the old days goes back to its original recipe, and I take a guess at the perfect youth ramen bowl. I was so close, needing more noodles and less pork. With that fixed at youth only, balance is restored in the world, and we continue another day as we are only missing 1 singular dollar. Ugh. We breeze through this day quite easily, and we have enough to build a bookstore. At our bookstore, we sell manga, novels, and language books, finding out that the elders enjoyed the language books and manga, while the youth enjoyed the novels. With this, we upgrade the housing to get more youth and start the day. I built another bookstore so that our villagers can shop for everything they like instead at their own respective stores. I put together what I thought they would enjoy, which took some trial and error, but we got it down in the end. I managed to get a 10 out of 10 for old heads right away, but the youth were still not fully happy with my choices. I saved up some money so we can build a park to boost the beauty of our strip and that leaves us with one more goal of reaching 80% satisfaction. As the day ends, we reach this goal and beat the mission. Emma lets us know that the new street looks terrible and wants us to beautify the street to get some cats. Mission Perfect Streets wants us to finish with 6 or less buildings, build a florist, attract 4 cats per day, and pet 20 cats before we finish the mission. I take a look at the street and realize how ugly it truly is. There is a recycling option at the city hall, which we hire so we can destroy some of these ugly buildings and get some money back. I sell the end building first and upgrade the housing complex to have more villagers, that way we can focus on making some money. Emma lets us know that the more villagers we have, the more beauty we need, so for now, they will just have to think that the street is disgusting. I save every note that I can so I can learn what everyone loves and finish the day. I make one store fully focused on the youth who like onigiri, taiyaki, and instant noodles. I build an onsen so that we can have some beauty and hope that the next day will allow me to learn what the elders love. We pet our first cats today and I fixed our marts. I then toss down an elder's mansion so we can learn more about their likes and increase our population and money flow. I sell a mart so we only have one for each demographic and upgrade the beauty of the one building. We continue to pet some cats and make some money. I need more money so I keep going until we have enough to build the florist. A good balance to me was 2 of each flower to get started. I also realized that we'll need to remove a building, so I focused on petting some cats, making money, and making the street more beautiful. I purchased some building upgrades, pet kitty cats, and vibe for the rest of the mission. After completing the optional mission, I then sell the store and finish the day and the mission. On our next street, Emma lets us know that people are excited about the Sing-Along Festival. We have 3 weeks to complete the mission of hiring a shop investigator, having 2 10 out of 10 ramen recipes, and 2 10 out of 10 karaoke song selections. We unlock daily events which randomize something new each day. We also unlock cyclists to click on to gain more money. Our day starts with elders being more frugal, which doesn't affect us too much as we only have 1 elder in our town. The street is extremely empty, only housing 1 living quarters, so I build a new house and upgrade it, not really thinking about adding a store since we have $1,000. Besides, it gives time for our neighbors to start to get to know each other. I built a ramen store which is passable for both age ranges in the end, but it won't be enough to win. I adjust the recipe, trying to keep in mind what everyone enjoys so that when I build the next one, it's a hit. Even though our elders are broke, the Tanuki Symphony brings all the elders out to shop more anyways. This is a great time for me to put down another ramen shop to cater to them, so that they spend lots of money. Too bad they never shopped at the ramen store because it was apparently way too cheap for them to even try it. But I raised the price, which I won't complain about, and I move on to the next day. I build a service center so that we can eventually get our shop surveyor when we get enough money. At the end of the day, we don't have enough money, and we get hit with even worse news. The elders have a new favorite ramen recipe. I adjusted it around a bit to see what they might like, and hope that it's good enough to not get unhappy customers. When the day ends, the elders get a retirement benefits increase, so they are now back and better than ever. We fix the recipe and bump up those profit numbers. Since elder mansions are cheaper, I decide to build one, because we need more rich old people to line my pockets. I also built a park the next day to try to increase the beauty. With the surveyor purchase as well, that leaves us only needing to buy 2 karaoke buildings. I increased the beauty, built a karaoke bar, tossed in some music, and made it almost perfect on my first try. For my second karaoke bar, I made it for the old folk on my street, and once again, almost made it perfect on the first try. I tweak these recipes and complete the mission. This takes us to our final mission, Blissful Harmony. For this challenge, we need to bring in 4 yokai to our neighborhood, along with completing the mission with all available buildings being on our street. For a yokai to move in, you need to have 100% satisfaction on your street, which means I'm going to have to make a lot of people happy to complete this goal. The simple start to this was to just build a house. To decide what I was going to build next, I mostly go off the daily news. My elder mansions were 50% off, so I decided to build one of those. Now, I'm going to need some income. Since money doesn't grow on trees around here, I decide to build a classic ramen shop. For one of the achievements, I need to make sure that I greet every cyclist this run, so I focus each day to make sure that they are my top priority along with gathering trash. The next addition to our street is the onsen, and then another ramen shop. I want to keep the satisfaction high, so building the same building type for each demographic seemed like a simple way to do this, as the elders hated the youth's favorite ramen by a long shot. A service center is an easy addition so I can hire a surveyor to make learning likes easier, and a boba cafe is thrown in so I can be one building closer to the requirement. I wanted to get the trash collector, but for the final achievement I have to manually collect 300 pieces of trash, so I unfortunately have to skip that. I build a little mart, pet the kitties, greet all the cyclists, and pick up every piece of trash possible. Our elder mansion gets upgrades, since we will eventually need to have 50 villagers, and then build a florist. I realized as long as most people were happy, the satisfaction was getting quite high, so I wasn't too worried about making 2 of every building type for now. Next is a bookstore and an upgrade to the florist's beauty. Going down our list of buildings still needed, a park is to be added next. The street is getting quite long, so I was nervous I would miss trash or a cyclist, but I was sure to lock in as hard as possible. This was the first time I had a demographic that hated a place so badly. Usually they just don't even shop at the store if it isn't for them, but since I only have one bookstore, the youth would just show up and get pissed off and leave. I make a karaoke bar, and that leaves me with only one building left, a yokai tree. Our satisfaction is not where it needs to be for this though, so I make some more buildings so that no one is angry about where they shop. With all of these new stores, we reach 100% satisfaction, meaning we can get yokai to move in now when we have the money. With $1,700 in our pocket, we place our yokai tree and get our first 2 yokai villagers. I spend some money to move in 1 more and start the next day. I move in 2 more yokai and a normal villager upgrade, and finish out our final day. Emma thanks us and says goodbye, and the credits roll. I am not done though, as I need to finish collecting all this damn trash. I continue my last street, and we start the day with news that the villagers will drop more trash. Yay! I also spend so much money just to make the street more pretty, just for fun. I gather enough trash to complete the last achievement, and 100%ed Minami Lane. So, what did I think? Minami Lane is a great example of a short but comfy management sim. Doot Tiny Games once again knocks it out of the park with the art. The mission-specific art pieces are stunning, so paired with the beautiful art and great music, it makes it a great collection to any library. Even now, when I haven't played the game in a bit, I still find myself humming the music. I didn't find myself dreading getting through the game at all, and it was super fun to play on stream while telling stories to my chat. Though with this in mind, the game doesn't have much replayability, but for a standalone 2 to 4 hour game as it was advertised, it was entertaining and overall worth the pickup. A big thanks to everyone who has made it this far. Comment down below your favorite boba flavor, and if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like to let me know. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!